on in, come on in, come on in,
Come
come
on
on
in.
in. There we are. My
Yeah, yeah.
brother, what's up, Will?
What's up, Kev? What's good, man?
Here we
We in
are.
here.
Here we are, man. What's up?
Last one for 2022.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Last
right.
one.
Last episode for 2022. Good evening, y'all. Come on in. Come on
Come
in,
on in
rock
the
with
room.
us.
Yes,
Come on
yes.
in and rock with us. Talk
Yeah,
with
this,
us.
yeah,
Talk
this,
to us.
this been a blessing, man. I've had a good time.
Hmm
What episode is this? This episode
This
what?
is like nine. This is like
9?
episode nine, I
Episode
believe.
9.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, something that dropped
Mm-hmm.
in our spirits, as they say.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we had a good time thus far, man. I look forward to the future and the millions and thousands of people that are going to come and
Yeah.
get on this wave with us in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a wave, brother. It's a
Yeah,
wave.
yeah. Highs and lows.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've had some good days. Hey, everybody. Chronicles of a Preacher's Kid. Good evening. I'm your host, the Professor Kevy Kev, and I can't do it alone.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
got two of the best on this side of the heavens. All right. First, I want to say we are missing our sister Ricky DeVos. Ricky
Yes.
DeVos, where are you? Scooby Doo. Scooby Doo, where are you? We missing Ricky tonight. Ricky is on a job, and she's stuck at work, and we know how it is with the job that we got.
Yeah.
It can get you right when you're going out the door.
Mm.
So it got Ricky right when she was about to wrap up and leave, but we're praying for Ricky, you better tune in wherever you. I don't care if you're talking to a client right now, you better log in, girl.
Yeah. Jump right on in.
Yeah.
Like Eddie King slid in.
We are missing you tonight, Ricky. Ricky is our light. She is the voice, and that's our sister. So, but we praying that she is doing okay tonight. And yeah, we miss her for this last episode of 2022, man.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
we got
I'm
together and
I'm hoping
we
that she jumps in.
rehearsed.
I hope she jumps in.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I hope it's a quick little emergency and she can wrap it up.
Yeah.
But we're gonna carry on. I got my man Sankofa.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
up,
man.
brother?
Man, I'm excited about this holiday coming, man, and I'm excited. I'm getting a new refrigerator tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. When you get older, it's the little things, man. It's the,
That's a
it's the
major
little
thing,
things.
brother. That ain't a little thing. That's a
You know what I
major.
mean? So I'm
Yeah.
I'm, I'm excited about that, and just spending some time
Mm-hmm.
with my family in the holiday. It's really
Yeah.
what it's about. Got some
Yeah.
My brother-in-law is coming up from
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta, and we're gonna have a good time, just chill, low key. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Though, yo, this time of the season is family time, bro. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
yo, this Christmas holiday done snuck up on all of us. It really
yeah,
did. It came fast and in a hurry, bro.
yeah.
I'm unprepared. I'm gonna be last minute trying to rally the troops to, get whatever it is that's on wish lists and things of that nature.
Yeah,
So,
man, it's crazy out there. Like the mall is like crazy. The
mhm.
Cherry Hill Mall. I hate going to work. Our office is right next to it, and it's just tough getting. The
Man,
traffic is just
brother.
bananas, and not even. I haven't even really gone in the mall,
Mm-hmm.
really.
Uh-huh.
Stop. Just it's just too much.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
Well, a lot of people order stuff online. I
yeah.
trying to get this the Tabitha Brown cookbook for my wife, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like sold out everywhere. So I'm hoping that
Mm-mm-mm.
I
I
can
was
get
at
it.
Target. I was at Target, man, getting a few items, and it took almost 45 minutes to get out the
Yeah,
parking lot. Yeah, it took
yeah,
almost 45 minutes. Me and my little man. I won't do that again. I don't know if it was the time of day or if it's just near the rush of the Christmas sales. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So, but whatever it is, it's a mess. But again, here we are, Chronicles of a Preacher's Kid, y'all. It's myself and Will, and we want to have some dialogue with y'all tonight. Again, Ricky can't be with us. Um, so just comment, let us know that you're here, let us know that you're watching. Come on, tune in and talk with us. Tonight, we are going to talk about what it is when you have things in your past that you have done wrong and God has forgiven you of your wrongdoings. Do you still feel the need to have to explain your side of the story to people? Do you still feel like you have to justify where God has brought you now in comparison to where you were before God came into your life? All right. So we wanna talk a little bit about that tonight. What's up, Trudy Skinner? Put her thing on up there. Trudy there. Hello, hello, hello. So that's our topic tonight. We want to talk about it. We want to talk about it because God has brought all of us from different struggles in our past, different things that we're not proud about, embarrassing things in our past life before we took this journey with God. And some people might know our past history
Hmm.
before God transformed our life. And do we have to have an answer or an explanation for why we did things? Maybe, Will, I'm going on 50 now.
Yeah.
And do I still have to answer for some things that I might have done 20 at age 25, at age 24? I'm glad there was no social media for some of the things that happened during that time frame.
Man, look, shoot,
Hmm.
I
Come
can't even
on.
say I can't say nothing because you're right. Because if social media was back when we were
Yeah.
younger, it would have been curtains.
Yeah. I mean, there were all type of things that parties that we attended. There used to
Hmm.
be the Freaknik back in the day that we used to all go to, and so many things that were done publicly and privately.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Things that we're not ashamed that we are ashamed of now. That we might have had fun doing back then, but in
yeah,
this climate that we live in, if somebody brought up our past history, you know, and laid it on the table and it prevented us from moving ahead, do we still feel like, yeah, I got to explain this in
yeah,
spite of God coming in and changing my life?
yeah.
All
And
right.
and I thank God that He forgives, and He's not like man, because
Yeah.
man, people can hold on to stuff forever. Like
Yes.
it can affect families, it can
Hmm.
affect livelihoods over
Yeah.
something that happened y- 10,
Hmm.
15, 20 years ago.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes again. So that's our topic for tonight, and we're gonna come with a few different ways. But the first thing I want to bring up, Will, a few weeks ago, and maybe a lot of our listeners, our viewers, have seen this as well. A few weeks ago, the owner of the Cowboys, Jerry Jones, a picture was circulating around about him when he was about 15 years old in Arkansas. I'm going to put it up on my screen. Will, let me know if you can see this. Um, in 1957. All right, let me go there. Can you see that, Will?
yeah, uh, yeah,
Right there.
uh-huh.
All right. In 1957, all right. Let me take my cursor to him. You see that, Will? Do you see me going around Jerry's face
Hmm.
right there?
Young Jerry.
A young Jerry right there. All right. And then again, I want you to keep in context that we're talking about things in our past. And I'm not saying that Jerry got forgiveness by God for this, but this was something about 65 years ago. All right. And here he is, a 15-year-old white kid in the hotbed racial South of
Arkansas.
Arkansas. All right. Is surfaced showing him among a group of white students trying to block black students from entering his North Little Rock High School during a desegregation effort. All right. In the photo, Jones, who they say was 14, he said he was 16. He's wearing this striped shirt in the back. All right. He's on the front row. He's on a few rows back on the school steps. All right. And this is him there during a time of heated desegregation. And you see this angry mob of white people, white men, all
Mm-hmm.
right, blocking these black students from entering into the school because it was a couple years prior to this that desegregation, all
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
black students were now allowed into white schools. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So this protest occurred in the same month. Get this, Will. This protest right here occurred in the same month as a highly publicized incident at nearby Little Rock Central when President Eisenhower sent federal troops to Arkansas to make sure that 9 black students could enter that school.
Mm-mm-mm.
All right. So here's a few of the things that Jerry said. I'm gonna keep my cursor on him so y'all can see. This is Jerry right there. All right. Jerry said
The
this.
owner of the Cowboys, Dallas
Owner
Cowboys
of
owner.
the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. All right. The richest franchise in
Mm-hmm.
professional football.
America's
Um,
football team.
right, right. So Jerry says I got criticized because I was more interested in how I was going to be punished by my coaches and everybody for being out front. But nobody, he says this, nobody there had any idea, frankly, of what was going to take place. All right. That's Jerry's, that's a quote from Jerry.
Whatever.
Wrong, wrong. All right. And he goes on to say, we didn't have all of the last 70 years of reference and all the things that were going. So you didn't have a reference point there. Still, I've got a habit of sticking this nose in the right place at the wrong time. I don't know what that means. Jones said he did get in trouble for being there. I was a young sophomore trying to make the team, and they kicked my butt. All right. Okay. So we're going to get on out of there. All right. So we wanted to bring that up to kind of show. Now, there's been a lot of talking points about, this not being really talked about a lot because, he's a white man. He says this happened when he was 15 years old. He didn't know what was going on, and a lot of people have swept this under the rug. All
Yeah.
right. But I'm bringing this up not to really talk about Jerry, Will, but to talk about the fact that if this, Jerry Jones was part of this racist mob and,
Uh-huh.
he says, and maybe he went through a transformation where God changed his life and his outlook on racism in America. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Okay. Does he still owe an explanation, for his past now being something that's come full front and center in the media today? Let's talk a little bit about Jerry. Then we want to go to the larger topic. So, do
Yeah.
you think, Will, hearing his explanation and just kind of seeing him and hearing some of his comments, do you
Yeah.
think
His
that his explanation was good enough?
I don't think it was good enough. He kind of danced around the issue. I know it was 65 years ago, but
Mm-hmm.
there's no way that he didn't know what was going on back then. That was part of the life in Arkansas and in the South. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I think that Jerry had his clothes laid out the night before,
Mm. Mm.
and getting ready. He's up in the front. So
Mm-hmm.
you had to know what the
Yeah.
climate of, and especially something that just happened.
Mm-hmm.
A couple months prior.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right now he's the owner of the the
Dallas.
Dallas Cowboys,
Come on, come on. Uh-huh.
Dallas Cowboys,
Yeah.
and he's the same guy that when the black
Yes.
players were protesting, he was ready to get them up out of there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
and his track record, with
Mm-hmm.
the black folks really doesn't. If you're not a Chicago, I keep saying Chicago. If you're
Mm-hmm.
not a Dallas fan, you
Mm-hmm.
kind of see through all of that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's kind of hard for
Mm-hmm.
you to make amends for something like this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. 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 So I hear what you're saying because you you still to this day kind of see that there's a pattern. All
Hmm.
right. A picture speaks a thousand words, right? So, we can all assume, certain things from him being in that crowd of an angry white mom blocking these black kids from coming into school. But you brought up the fact that he's hired no black head coach during his tenure as the owner of the Cowboys.
Hmm.
Like you said, that he was totally opposed against them kneeling during the singing of the national anthem, and he did threaten his players
Yeah,
that if they would kneel during the national anthem,
that they'll be
that
fired.
they will be fired. All
Yeah,
right, so uh, a 15-year-old, your pretty much perspective on and your outlook and your views are not really being formed, but you have really some rigid, formulated opinions about
yeah.
society and the world at large at that time, especially in that type of community where
Right, right.
racism was really, really an issue. Go ahead, Will.
Because if the average 15-year-old is going to be kind of shaped by his community,
Mhm. Yeah.
around that age,
Yes.
it's rare that you have somebody that's going to be outside
Hmm.
of what the common practice is.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, I'm pretty I can't
Yeah.
speak. I don't know him. I don't know his
Right.
family.
Right. Right.
But,
Hmm.
if it barks like a dog, it's a
Hmm.
dog. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
um, so what I would have liked to hear, all right, if again, if somebody is truly dedicated to saying that I've undergone a transformation process, what I need to hear from him or anyone in that position that has had ties to a racist past in America's
Hmm.
history. I want to hear them denounce racism in all of its forms,
Exactly. Exactly.
right?
Well,
And
he
conclusively, he did not give that to us.
yeah, he danced around it like Danny Terrio. He needed to say this was an ugly time in our history.
There you go.
I've tried in my owning of
Hmm.
the Dallas Cowboys. I've
Hmm.
tried to do this, that, and this to,
Yes.
what I'm saying.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm. Yeah.
he wanted to be able to go to the country club at the end of the
Right.
day. Because
Right.
if
Right.
he would have denounced racism,
Yeah.
them good old boys probably wouldn't have let him come
Yeah.
to the
That's
pig
right.
roast. They wouldn't
That's
let him come
right.
to the pig roast.
That's right. That's right. So that's what. So we're not really talking about Jerry tonight, but we're
Hmm.
talking about past wrongs. Do we owe an explanation for our past wrongs if we feel like God has forgiven us? Some of us will be like, nah, I don't owe nobody an
Yeah.
explanation about what I did back when I was 25 and the reason why I may have been locked up, or the reason why I was in that relationship, or the reason why, a lot of people will feel, Will, like, I don't owe nobody no explanation because
Yeah.
God forgave me. And he
Hmm.
said, my sins are as far as the east is from the west.
Yes,
You
and my
know what I'm
sins
saying?
are
He
washed
forget
away.
Yeah, when he washes me, he forgets my sins. He doesn't see my sins anymore. So why do I hold man to a higher standard than I do God? All
Yeah.
right. So one of the things, Will, we brought up, and chime in with your comments if you want to talk to us. One of the things that when me, you, and Ricky had met up, we had talked about a few scriptures, and one of the scriptures that had come to mind was Luke chapter 12, verses 2 and 3. And in the King James Version, it says, "For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Therefore, whatsoever you have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which you have spoken in the ear in closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetops. So to me, that's talking about, that if there are some things in our past that we haven't, um that we've injured other people in some way, shape, or form, that we haven't made amends, they could become an obstacle for us in our move forward, in our purpose in life, in our ability to move forward.
Yeah, some technical difficulty. I think we having some technical difficulties right now. Ah, so so basically, what we're saying is, you know, try and get this fixed.
Yo,
Yeah.
my bad. We had a technical outage real quick.
I was like,
I know, I know, I know. Yo, put Trudy's comment up there, bro.
okay.
Trudy's comment right there. Trudy, if their actions have hurt someone, then yes. All right. I listen, I agree. If there was some kind of injury, physically, emotionally, mentally, and again, we're not talking about consequences or accountability. I'm just talking about the fact that if God has cleansed me and forgiven me of it, do I still owe an explanation? All right. And truly spot on. If you have injured someone, then, well, what do you think? Do you owe them some type of recompense
Yeah.
or accountable to them in some way?
I think so. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
for both people, the person that was injured and for the person that um
Mm-hmm.
did the act, that
Right.
that kind of helps cleanse your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Um and like this discussion that we had the other day, I think
Mm-hmm.
that if you are like running for office
Yeah.
or if you're in some type of authority and
Mm-hmm.
something comes up that's hurtful,
Yeah.
um that is significant, then
Mm-hmm.
you should have some type of, you know,
Yeah.
of explanation for it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
especially if you're coming humbly,
Yeah.
because some people will be like, I don't gotta say nothing. I'm good.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Yeah.
So like I was saying, if you're running for office,
Mm-hmm.
and you have an infidelity,
Mm-hmm.
is pretty much saying that you have
Mm-hmm.
a character flaw.
A
You know
character
what I'm saying?
flaw. Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah. Yeah. You brought up when we was talking. You brought up Mayor Marion Barry,
yes.
right? You're talking about him, right?
Yeah, man.
Uh,
He was the mayor of DC. I think
mm-hmm.
maybe 2 terms.
Yeah.
He had got caught out there with I don't know. I think she was a prostitute. They were doing drugs, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
he came
Yeah.
out, and
Uh-huh.
made a penance, and
Yeah.
they reelected him. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So it's
Right.
possible if and then I think he ended up
Mm-hmm.
getting in trouble later on down the line.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But again, even though he got caught out there for solicitation of a prostitute, even though he got caught out there red-handed with drugs, like you said, he was reelected. But what
Mm.
did he do? He did come and he confessed publicly
Mhm.
that he was wrong. He felt that he owed that explanation, especially because he was running for a public office. So I could definitely see that it is warranted for an
Yeah.
explanation to be made if you are in some type of public capacity,
Yeah.
right? You're in some type of leadership capacity, and you're expecting people to trust your leadership, to trust your judgment and your decision making,
Mhm.
for you to come out and say, not only have you apologized, but these are the steps that I took, to make transformation happen in me. Trudy, I see you, Trudy.
Yeah.
Um, Pride oftentimes gets in the way of acknowledging past actions, especially if the church is involved somehow. Amen and
Amen.
amen.
And
Yeah,
amen again.
yeah.
That's the truth.
That's right. That's right.
Because
Because you have a lot of people who are concerned about their titles and their positions
yeah,
and
titles
their
and
authority. Go ahead.
I think titles is like one of the worst things in the church, man, because people really take
Hmm.
that serious and literally.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And,
Hmm.
and you're not going to have none of that when you get in heaven.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're just going to be a regular angel. You're not going to be
Hmm.
a district superintendent
Yeah.
in heaven. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Hmm.
my thing is really it should works by your deed shall a man be known, not by a title. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, there was a pastor. He got a few albums now. He's a pastor and everything. But he had a little scandal where he had sent for better words, a penis picture to some lady in the church. All
Mm.
right, I forget his name. No, 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 no. No, no, and I'm fighting. I forget his name, man. Um, and it was all over the internet, Will, all over the
Yeah.
internet, all over the internet,
Yeah, there's been
and
a lot of shaky stuff I've seen some preachers do, man.
yeah, but
Just
listen, I mean, this went out there, and it's probably if you Googled his name, you probably would still see his penis picture out there. Uh,
nah, I'll pass.
Pause.
Yeah,
Uh,
pause.
but it's probably still out there. But it didn't stop him from remaining as pastor of the church. It didn't
Yeah,
stop him from still putting out albums. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? It didn't stop. He came and I think he made an apology and what he's done privately to fix the matter, but he still got albums and he's still in a leadership role at the church. So,
yeah,
you know, for probably for people that are like pastors and celebrities and politicians, maybe for them they could get away with some of these things, but for the common dude,
oh,
for,
no,
for the
nah,
for the common dude, all
mm-mm.
right, Will, if I get a small little a small charge, be it a small either drug possession or DUI,
Oh, you
or
losing everything.
I'm losing my job.
Yeah,
I'm losing my job. And then that's on my background that may prohibit me from getting work, anywhere else,
yeah, yeah,
right? You know what I'm saying? But I can tell the prospective employer, well, God has forgiven me, and I've done the work, and I've gone to.
security, security. Come get this guy out. Come escort this guy out of here.
God is a God of second chances, and my pastor can vouch for me. I'm working in ministry.
Security, God got his behind out of here.
Uh, so the regular Joe, if that comes up on my criminal background,
Yeah,
and I know sometimes they'll tell you, like, when you go to, if you got a some type of criminal history, go ahead, you need to put it on your application.
yeah.
Don't hide it. you
Because
know
it'll come out
it'll
anyway.
come out. So what they say is that, well, let them know what the offense was, how you paid your restitution, and where you are currently in life,
Hmm.
rather than to hide it. And sometimes it still does not work out
Yeah,
in that person's favor.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Because
you,
we even get judged on what we
mm,
post on social media.
mhm.
You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm a witness to
yeah.
that. You know.
Right, right. Or what you might have posted 10 years ago.
Yeah,
If you're
yeah.
looking to move higher up in whatever position you are,
That
they
can
will
affect
still
you.
look at your social media history.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. And see if there's some questionable posts, and
Hmm.
they could use that against you.
Yep. They'll print it
You,
out.
you know,
They'll have the paperwork, the
right. But I,
documents.
I can say that was 2008. I was young and I was immature, and my perspective was different. But since I've become educated, yeah, but that doesn't mean anything for the regular dude.
Yeah.
you
And if you have, or
know?
if you're wealthy, you sometimes that helps
Hmm.
too. You can definitely buy forgiveness and
Right.
pay for people to forget.
Yeah, yeah. But I wanted to get back on what Trudy had said earlier about pride,
Yeah,
as far as acknowledging, Pat, and then we're going to kind of shift the topic a little bit. But like Trudy brought up, is usually, you know people don't want to not only be wrong, but they don't want to admit that they have done wrong. They want to give this, paint this perfect picture about themselves, that they're not capable of wronging anybody, you
hmm,
know. And if you're in a leadership position and you're not able to own up to your flaws to the people that you lead, then, that in and of itself doesn't sit well with a lot of people.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Because I've seen a lot of pastors say things from the pulpit. I've
Oh
seen a lot
yeah,
of mothers in the church say things to the women that's wrong and hurtful and inappropriate. I've seen a lot of people just chase people away from the church instead of saying, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I did you wrong," even when the person comes to
hmm,
them.
yeah.
It says, what you said wasn't right. Well, God had given me that to say to you, and
God did not give you that. You're supposed to do everything in love. God did not give
right.
you that. Not that way. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying?
yeah, 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 yeah. So we're talking about people holding your past against you. All right, when God has forgiven you. All right, and you know one of the things we talked about, Will, me, you and Ricky, we talked about how there's extreme things. You're not going to put a pedophile who is on a Megan's Law offender. You're not going to put them in children's church,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
You're not going to put a brother who has a history of money laundering or writing bad checks. You're not going to put them
In
in
the
the
building,
finance
yeah,
committee,
in charge of
uh,
the building fund.
right? Wisdom, right? We
Yeah.
got wisdom, God. We don't have to pray over a lot of things. We got wisdom,
Hmm.
right? Where we know what might best suit an individual.
And you
So
can,
we know. Go ahead, Will.
and they could be fully forgiven. You can forgive them.
Mm-hmm.
You could forget about it, but
Yeah.
your wisdom's not going to let you put them in that position.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're
Right.
not going to treat them any different. It's just
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just not going to. I don't feel comfortable
Yeah.
putting you
Yeah.
there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
So in essence, I'm protecting the people, and I'm protecting the person,
Right.
right?
And I'm protecting you. I'm
Yes.
protecting you from getting into that
Mhm.
back into
Yes.
that same, way. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. Whatever your
So
kryptonite was.
exactly. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know.
You like young girls. I'm not going to put you in charge of the purity class.
That's right, R. Kelly. Yeah, I'm not
You
gonna.
know what I mean? Yeah,
That's right.
nah,
That's right. Yeah. And so you're protecting that person and you're protecting those people, so there won't be any type of blame on the ministry as well. And here go Trudy. Trudy, you hit it on the head. You don't want to be the one leading them into temptation. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Because if you know someone that has an issue with money, you know what I'm saying, you're not going to put them freely to have full access to
Hmm.
money to tempt them to do something that might, hurt themselves or hurt the ministry or, whatever.
Right, right.
Yeah.
You're not gonna put me downstairs cooking chicken. You're not gonna put me there. You know what I mean? Because
Especially if your house dirty. I am what you yeah,
now
what your kitchen.
I'm not talking about my house dirty. I'm gonna be eating too much.
Oh, okay.
My house is clean.
But they always say, the overweight lovers is the best ones in the kitchen. You know, it ain't the skinny people in the kitchen that cook the best.
Oh yeah, you gotta have fat elbows if if you know your way around the kitchen.
Yeah, so again, it's all about using wisdom as far as people's past and their background. Well, for the job that we do, that's one of the main things that we look at. We look at people's background,
Yeah,
right, before we can say that they're suitable,
yeah,
to be in a role to protect,
right,
other people. We got to look at their background.
yeah,
We
and
got to
and
see what
it's
your criminal. Go ahead, Will.
right, and it's a shame that sometimes it's not even the background check and the things that come up isn't even something that should prohibit. You know, a lot of times, like you said, people have stuff from when they were a lot younger,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
because of the
Yeah.
guidelines,
Yeah.
they can't waive that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So
And then and it's crazy because like you said, from like 1995,
yeah,
you know,
I had a
it,
case. I had a case where we had this case together. I'm not gonna say the
no,
name,
no, it's not, yeah,
but
yeah.
but the grandma, she had a child neglect allegation back in like the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
and because of that they would not
Mm,
um let her have her grandchildren.
mm, yeah. Wow.
um
Yeah. Yeah. And and that's unfortunate in some circumstances because you
it
don't
might have been like
know.
90s. It wasn't the 80s,
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
90s.
Because you don't know, what process that they have gone through. And that's what I want to talk about now is the process.
Hmm.
Yeah, I wasn't good for my family back in the late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, I was not employed um back during those times. Yeah, I might have been in and out of jail. Yeah, even my housing record ain't that good, Will.
Hmm.
Okay. I can I've got several addresses, but where I am right now for the past 10 years, I'm suitable, for whatever's being offered to me. But let's talk a little bit about the process that we think, again, God has saved me, God has forgiven me, He's cleansed me. Okay, that's good. But what is the work that you have done personally and individually to make you suitable, to not have this dark cloud looming over you that's an obstacle? What do you think, Will, is one of the things that a person needs to show that demonstrates that change has occurred in their life?
Just being
And
consistent.
I know we talked about like the, amends and things of that nature.
Yeah, just being consistent and
Mhm.
not showing any of the behavior that you had, that was in your past.
Mhm.
You can't force people to forget about stuff or to even forgive you.
Right.
You just have to be on your path and what and be delivered from what God changed you from. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yeah.
So it's just tough, man. It's just like we were talking earlier. Like,
Hmm.
w- when should somebody? Am I jumping to another
No, no, no. Go
subject?
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
When should somebody forgive? How?
Mm.
Why? These are
Hmm.
the questions. How long
Yeah.
is somebody going to hold on to something? Like,
Hmm.
sometimes you're just like, yo, get over it. You know what I'm
Right. Right.
saying?
Right. Right.
Like,
I
why should
understand.
I still be paying for something that happened
Hmm.
30 years ago? You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Hmm. Right.
You
Right.
see, you see how I move now. You
Hmm.
see that I'm not the way I used to be. So why
Yeah.
do you still hold that against me?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. So, I had brought up about the process, about, some of the things that go into the change, but you hitting something on the on the head right there too, because we are so caught up, and this is for everybody, those that are listening, those that are watching. We are so caught up with valuing other people's opinion about us. And that's one of the reasons, Will, why I think that we feel like we owe it to people, even though sometimes some people don't deserve it. We owe it to people to explain our past,
Hmm.
because we do value people's opinion about us. All
Yeah,
right. We want to be socially accepted. We want people's applaud and appreciate. We want to feel appreciated from people.
yeah,
So one of the things that we will do is that we will go above and beyond sometimes to over explain where we are right now, because we feel the need for people to accept us. How you feel? What you feel about that?
yeah. I mean, that's just human nature, man. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
wants to feel loved.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to feel, part of something and appreciate it. You
Mm-hmm.
have some people that don't care, could give
Yeah.
two cares about it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the
Yeah.
the average and basic person wants, to
Yeah.
be a part of something, to be, accepted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I should say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's crazy because, like, again, like, what is it that God says about me? What is it that how does he feel about me? And I know that, we can't see God. He's
Mhm.
invisible, and we interact with people on a daily basis,
Yeah.
and we really get how we feel about ourselves from other people.
Hmm.
One of the things I got to do in the morning, Will, with my little guy Aiden, I gotta build his esteem, because in the morning it's tough to
Oh my
you know,
goodness. I,
get
I
him
got a
up,
I
get
got
him
a
ready
5
for
year old.
school. You know this.
Yes.
So, I gotta, build his esteem. I gotta put some Michael Jackson music going. We gotta dance a little bit. We gotta tell him how blessed of a day he's gonna have. I gotta give him this good energy so he can feel the worth and the value,
Yeah.
so that he don't, feel like he need to be find all of his esteem and acceptance from people at school. He's getting it from home. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Because I think that, that's one of our downfalls, is that, you know, we don't uh, we don't get it from the people that we need to receive it from.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And social media is one of the things that a lot of people turn to for social acceptance. But go ahead, what you got, Will?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, man. I want to start doing that
Hmm.
with my son too. Putting
Yeah, yeah,
music on.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but
Hmm.
yeah, I agree with you. I definitely agree
Yeah,
with you.
yeah, yeah. Um, but I just want to say right there, as far as with that, valuing other people's opinion, because again, we're talking about forgiving. We're talking about us forgiving ourselves as well in the process. I know we didn't hit the process too much, but one
Hmm.
of the things that we got to do in that process a little bit, when we feeling like people always want an explanation about the things that we did in the past, sometimes the worst person
Is
that
is
hinders
yourself.
us is ourself.
Yes.
You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? We don't feel like, and that's why I was talking about my son a little bit, building his esteem. he needs to get that from home, so he won't be, his mind won't be Adam saying, yet you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, you're not smart
Yeah.
enough. You know what I'm
And then
saying?
they'll go out and try to
Hmm.
find that in different
Right.
people,
Yeah, yeah,
in different in different things.
yeah.
Because I see that so much.
Hmm.
As
Hmm.
in my job as an adolescent worker,
Yeah.
our youth, come from
Hmm.
homes where they don't have anybody pouring into them.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
they tend to, girls and boys, they tend to go looking
Hmm.
for that. They're looking for that
Hmm.
mother figure. They're looking for that father figure in a
Hmm.
person, or whether it be drugs, or it be in gangs or street life. They're looking
Yeah.
for to fill that void. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we are our hardest critic.
Hardest
Most
critic.
people are, and I'm guilty of it too, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, even with my music,
Uh-huh.
I'm so critical of myself. I could probably,
Yeah.
if I, you know, poured a
Hmm.
little bit more into myself, I probably could have been a little further. But
Yeah.
sometimes, when you're a perfectionist,
Hmm.
you're real
Hmm.
real critical of what
Yeah.
you got going on.
That's right. That's right. And like you said, we're our hardest critic and we're our own worst enemy at times, Will, because sometimes we might feel like everybody's against us, everybody's judging us. But that's ourself. Nobody's judging you.
Hmm.
Nobody's trying to block your blessing. Nobody's
Yeah.
trying to hinder your growth. Sometimes it's just in our own mind where we're our own worst enemy, where we're stumbling over ourselves. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And the reason why we're not moving forward or progressing is because we haven't done the work on ourselves so that we can move ahead of some of the things that we did. Because sometimes we feel so guilty
Hmm.
about what we have done in the past,
Yeah.
the things that we have said. We get caught up and hung up on it instead of forgiving ourselves. God forgave us. The
Yeah.
person that you injured probably forgot about it, but you the one that's still holding on to it,
Yeah.
and we're our own worst enemy about that,
Yeah. I
And I
mean,
know, go
and
ahead.
God's grace should be efficient and should be
Hmm.
enough, but
Yeah,
we're human, man. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? We flesh, and
Right.
that flesh
Yeah.
is tough. It's
Hmm.
tough,
Hmm.
man.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
to shake some of the things that we have
Hmm.
on us, in us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And that's why like I said, sometimes, my who was that brought that rap song out back in the day, Scarface and what was their name, what was
Well,
the group's name?
ghetto
The
boys.
Ghetto Boys. My mind's playing tricks on me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
That was
you
my
know
song too.
sometimes is like I said, we are our own worst enemy, and sometimes we conjure up things
Yeah.
that are not even real, you know and we speak that over ourselves. What I'm
Hmm.
saying? What does God say about us? He says that we're the head and not the tail. He says that we're above and not beneath. He says
Hmm.
that we're the lender, not the borrower. He
Yeah.
says that we are the apple of his eye. You know what I'm saying? But the guilt that we carry with us kind of keeps us in a rut.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where we don't feel good about who we are. Because we still holding on to whatever trauma or whatever we did to someone,
Yeah.
you
We
know.
we walking around here like Adam. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? All of a sudden we're naked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we sinned,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
and and we feel like we're far, far from God
Yeah, 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 yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, 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 yeah. And it's us, and then
Yeah.
like it is the devil, because Ricky brought up that other scripture in Revelation where he is the great accuser of the brethren, that
Hmm.
he is the one that will even bring up our memories about the things that we've done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To keep accusing us that, look, you did that 20 years ago. You don't even deserve to be in this position right now. You done dirt to this one and that one. Why you think you're here in this leadership capacity? You don't even deserve that. And then
Yeah.
that starts to wear on us as well,
Yeah.
because we got our guilt we dealing with. We got the enemy accusing us. You know what I'm saying? And then we think we fighting with folk on the outside. It's just
Hmm.
warfare, man.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
just warfare,
yeah.
but the thing is though is that valuing other people's opinion, what I'm saying? I think we got to put more emphasis on who God says we are
Hmm.
versus how we feel people are perceiving us. That's where
Right,
the emphasis needs to be.
right.
We're gonna be we about to wrap up, but one of the last things, Will, is that me, you, and Ricky was talking about was about how everything, how the things in our past does impact not only us,
But
but it has the potential to impact so many different other people, and it's multi-layered.
yeah,
It's multi-layered. It doesn't just start and stop with us,
yeah. The sins of
right?
the father.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
generational curse thing.
Generational curses, bad patterns that
Yeah,
our sons and our daughters can pick up from us.
yeah.
My boy, one of my friends was telling me that he said, "Man, me and my wife, we got these beautiful daughters, and sometimes I feel that God is trying to get back at me, with
Oh,
all these beautiful daughters because I was
yeah,
a dog in the streets."
yeah, yeah.
He said, "I was a dog in the
That's
streets,
yeah.
and
That's what they
now."
say. That's what they say. When players have daughters,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I mean.
Now he's got to look for, does he want his daughters dating the type of individual that he was in his past?
Yeah,
And that's what he's looking at. I told him, you need to be really focusing on who you are right now.
exactly. Because that is way more important. And I always preach this to people
Mm-hmm.
that how you interact with your children,
Mm-hmm.
girls and boys, that affects their whole life. That affects
Mm-hmm.
them as an adult. Because
Mm-hmm.
I pride myself in having a good relationship with my daughter,
Yeah.
because it was so important to me that she come to me rather than go out there trying to find
Yes.
her dad. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes. Yes.
And that
Yes.
causes what they say it's easier to fix a broken child than a broken adult,
Yeah.
or a
Adult.
broken
Yes. You
boy than
got
a
it. You
broken
got it.
man.
You got it.
And
Yes.
same thing with women, because we see
Mm-hmm.
so many people walking around here with daddy issues and
Mm-hmm.
mommy
Mm-hmm.
issues, and that affects their relationships with
Mm-hmm.
with their spouses and whoever
Yeah.
they're in relationships with. So
Right.
it's so important to establish that in
Mm-hmm.
the beginning. Let your daughter know how it is for somebody to open the door for them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Take have your
Mm-hmm.
son know which side of the street to walk
Yeah.
on when you have a lady with you. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
These things need to be taught to our children,
Right. Mm-hmm.
and they need to see they need to see their
Right.
parents in
Mm-hmm.
in a relationship. You shouldn't really be arguing around your kids. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You
Yeah.
should, because
Yeah.
that affects them too.
Yes,
You
it
know what I'm
does.
saying?
Yes, it does.
So,
Yeah. So, and while you were saying that, one of the things that me and my friend was sharing, I was like, your daughters don't know that past individual that you were.
hmm,
They only know who you are right now. All right. And they don't have to know that individual that you were. However, the lessons that you learned and about that past individual,
yeah,
you can help prevent them from meeting the person that you once were.
hmm,
Okay? That's what you need to do. The person that you were, everything about
all the
who
tricks
you was. You
that
know
should
the
make
tricks of the trade. You
that should
do.
make you that should make you an awesome dad, an
Exactly.
awesome girl dad.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm
And I
saying?
said you gotta balance it because you don't want to be overbearing and
Right.
overprotective. But you should be able to have your radar on when she brings that boy over. You
Hmm.
should have your radar on to know how to vet him, to know how to assess him and
Right.
evaluate him, right?
Yeah, SDC
you
him.
should you should know how to evaluate that young man, so you know what to share with her, daughter, I think he's a nice guy, but these are some of the things that I see about him. Just keep your eye on it. Not to say that it's the telltale. These are the discussions that you can have. That I was sharing with him that you can have. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? To not be too overbearing, but to also just let her know, you know, these are some of the red flags.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
that's the that's the fancy that's the trend the top the trending word now is red
Red
flags.
red flags.
Yeah, so that's my thing. We're talking about holding those past things over you in this present day, in this present day climate. And the one thing that's valuable for each and every one of us is that you have a testimony of what God has transformed you from and what God has transformed you to, that you
Hmm.
can share with someone else to help them be a better version of themselves. You know what I'm saying? If somebody knows about, who you once were, that's your opportunity to share God with them and how he has completely transformed your life. I give all the credit to God
Hmm.
for where he brought me from and the things that I was deeply involved in into the individual that I am right now today. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that the more we share our testimony, even though our past might block us at times, the more you share your testimony, the more God will open doors and open windows,
Hmm.
to give you the things that you need right now to
And you're
be
gonna
successful.
and you're gonna help somebody else
And you're going to help
that's
somebody. Yeah.
going down the road that you've been down.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
And we can't be ourselves who we are now without going through what we've been through.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
The journey. Yeah.
Everybody's road is meant for them.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's meant
Yeah.
for them to make wrong turns and to hit potholes. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And
Yeah.
to get pulled over by the police. It's meant for you to for that to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yo, Will, Jalen Hurts, our quarterback, he's hurt. I'm praying that he gets better. He might not play Sunday.
Well, I just
Uh,
saw something that he's saying
He,
that he should be able to play.
he might not, they might hold him out. I don't know.
Okay.
But he said when you hear him talk, man, he's a leader among men.
Yeah.
He said that it's all about the journey. He said
Right.
it's not about the arrival. It's not
Hmm.
about the destination. It's about your journey. It's
Yeah, man.
about the defeats, the obstacles, the challenges, everything that you go, the preparation,
Hmm.
everything in your journey is what matters the most, not that you have arrived. And when he said that, I was thinking about, the apostle Paul, where he said that all my accomplishments I counted as dung, but he said that I press toward the mark for the
Hmm.
prize of the high calling in Christ Jesus. And that's
Yeah.
what it is. It's about the press,
Yeah, that was one of my
the
favorite
journey.
songs back in the day too. Press toward the mark.
Mark
Toward the
for the
mark.
prize of the
Of
high
high
calling.
calling.
I press toward the mark. Yo, that was mine too. Yo, good stuff, man. Good
Yeah.
stuff, brother. Yo, that's our convo tonight,
Yeah,
man.
man.
On talking about things in the background. Do that background check on that guy,
Yeah,
ladies
yeah.
and ladies and guys. Do that background check on that lady. Make sure that they come from a good home, they come from a good breed, and ask the right questions, do the
Right.
right assessments, so that you can make sure that you have you don't have anything that will um, make you stumble in your present or in your future. Somebody put Pacheco. What's Pacheco?
I don't know. I don't want to repeat it. I don't know what that
Oh,
is.
I don't either.
Yeah.
TCNJMBB.
But
Yeah.
I wanted to say that,
Go ahead.
forgiveness is good for the heart. It's
Hmm.
good for your heart. It's good for just to get things off your chest. Um,
Hmm.
talk about it. If it's something's bothering you, talk about it.
That's right.
Don't keep it bottled up
Hmm.
because it's just gonna blow up. Somebody
That's
else
right.
said it.
That's right.
Somebody else said, "But check. What does
Yeah,
that mean?"
I don't know what that means. So I don't know what that means. Pacheco. Um
You better stop saying it,
oh
man.
yeah, all right, let me stop.
I'm trying
Well,
to.
look. Well, look, it's the holidays is coming up. Christmas time is coming up, and we just want to say from the Chronicles of a Preacher's Kid, from me, Will, and from Ricky, we want to say happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, Merry
Happy
Christmas.
Kwanzaa.
You know, we want y'all to be safe. We're moving into a brand new year, and it just seems like there's so many accidents and tragedies and things of that nature that's happening during this time. We want you to slow down, be patient, stay
Yes.
safe, stay aware, so we can all make it into the year 2023. Will, what you
Yeah.
got?
I say just be safe, do everything in love,
Mm-hmm.
and let's get to this 2023.
Yes.
Prayerfully, it'll be it's gonna be a good year. We
Yeah.
always everybody always say my year is 2023, but it's gonna be a good year.
2023, yeah, you know me. Yeah, okay,
And
whatever.
the churches all had those slogans.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. 2020 was I got good vision.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, churches had that. We'll see what the churches come up with.
2021 was wear your mask
Oh
and,
yeah.
and use hand
Yeah.
sanitizer.
Yeah. I don't know what 23 is
No,
gonna be.
2021 was stay home.
Yes, it was. It was. But yeah, that's it for this season, Brother Will and Sister Ricky. We want to thank
Yes,
y'all. Yo,
we
man, I
missed
thank
you
you,
on this,
Brother
Ricky.
Will. I thank you, Ricky, for jumping into this endeavor. And we're going to come back, Lord willing, in January of 2023. And we're going to do it again. We're going to have some guests. We're going to have some hot
Yes,
topics. We're going to still talk about the church. We're going to talk about the goodness of God. And we're going to talk about a lot of social issues that's happening, because there's some things that's happening in the world that we need to get out to you guys. So listen, enjoy the holidays, y'all. We
yes,
thank you
yes.
for tuning in. Chronicles of a Preacher's Kid. I'm your
Love
host,
y'all.
Professor Kevin Kev, Wilson Kofa, Ricky DeVos. Thank you for tuning in, y'all. And we are out. God bless you.
Yeah.
Ricky DeVos,
God
be
bless.
safe, girl. Be
Yes,
safe.
be safe.
Get home safe. Um, Praying for you and Brother Jason and